How the ego weaponizes trauma, the Buddhist blueprint. Right now, the world is demanding your attention. The light from this screen is reflecting into your eyes. Your shoulders might be slightly hunched. Your breath is growing shallower by the second. There is a hidden tension coiled in your abdomen, or perhaps tightening your chest. It is a sensation you have been trying to ignore all day. You have been taught that exhaustion is merely a problem of time management. You believe that if you just organize your thoughts, everything will calm down. But that is the most dangerous illusion of all. The harder you try to optimize your mind, the stronger the cage becomes. You are losing your actual life to a stress simulation built entirely within your own nervous system. The truth you constantly overlook is that trauma does not reside in your thoughts. It is not stored in logical memory. It is deeply embedded in your biological architecture. Your body is a ledger that never forgets. We live in an era where humans are forced to run a marathon on an endless treadmill. Work messages haunt you all the way to your bed. Social comparison and crushing algorithms constantly threaten your relevance. These are not just social pressures. They are direct biological attacks on your nervous system. In modern neuroscience, what we call stress is simply the brain predicting danger. Your amygdala was designed for survival in the deep jungle. It cannot tell the difference between a leaping predator and a late-night email demanding a morning meeting. The physiological reaction is identical. Your heart pumps blood violently. Every muscle fiber contracts. Your digestive system halts completely. Your body prepares for absolute physical combat or immediate flight. Yet, in a cruel evolutionary joke, you have no predator to fight. The only weapon in your hands is a plastic keyboard. You do not fight, and you do not run. You simply sit paralyzed in front of a glowing screen, typing responses with freezing fingertips. When this emergency state repeats endlessly, your body adopts paranoia as its biological baseline. You do not just feel stressed. You are becoming that stress at a cellular level. This secret is not a recent discovery. The Buddha perfectly described this structural mechanism 2.5 millennia ago through the concept of sensation. He stated that all feelings of pleasure, pain, and neutrality rely on the body and mind. Every experience leaves an imprint on your physical form long before it translates into a mental narrative. Failing to understand this state is the root of the modern crisis of meaning. We try to cure suffering by talking endlessly about the past. But we forget to heal the body that is trembling in the present. To understand this internal destruction, we must look through the Four Noble Truths and the theory of the two arrows. Imagine you make a catastrophic mistake at work. The first arrow strikes you. It is the automatic physiological response. Cortisol floods your system. Your chest tightens and your breath catches. This is a truth of nature. It is an unavoidable physical sensation. It is the state of suffering arising from conditions. But the true collapse does not come from this first arrow. The second arrow is what you decide to do to yourself. When the physical pain registers, your ego frantically goes to work. It creates a narrative to explain the discomfort. It screams that you are failure and will never advance. This is the true origin of your suffering. It is the craving to push away the pain. You are relentlessly firing the second arrow into your own chest. You are becoming addicted to your own psychological self-harm. The stress is now carved deeply into your muscle memory. You might think the solution is to control your thoughts. You try to think positively or change your perspective. But this is where you must stop and reflect. Everything you are trying to do is the deepest trap of human existence. You cannot use thought to solve a problem created by thought. You cannot use a sick mind as a surgical tool to heal itself. This is the most painful structural contradiction. The more you resist your thoughts, the more you pour gasoline on the fire. The resistance you build to protect yourself is the very mechanism keeping the suffering alive. The secret to escaping this loop is not fixing the story in your head. It is abandoning the story entirely and dropping completely into your physical body. Ask yourself honestly, is the silent exhaustion inside you caused by the weight of your work? Or is it caused by the weight of the identity you are trying to project? The body is the only territory that truly exists in the present moment. Your thoughts drift through an unchangeable past and an unreachable future. But your breath is happening right now. The tension in your shoulders is happening right now. The Buddha never taught us to sit and wage war against our own thoughts. He taught the foundation of bodily mindfulness. That means pulling your awareness violently back to the physical form. Treat the wandering mind like a panicked wild animal. Mindfulness is the thick rope tying that animal to a massive, unmovable post. That post is your breath and your body. The animal may thrash and pull, desperate to return to the familiar terror of your thoughts. But if the post is rooted deeply enough, the animal will eventually exhaust itself and lie down in silence. Buddhist healing is not about analyzing ancient wounds. It is giving the body permission to feel raw sensation without the burden of a narrator. When we overlay this Dharma structure onto digital working life, the entire framework of pressure is exposed. Look at the principle of dependent origination, the interconnected chain of cause and effect. In the split second your phone notification chimes, contact has occurred. If you lack mindfulness, you respond immediately with fear. You generate craving and clinging, convinced the message is a threat to your existence. But if you are mindful, you stop at the bare physical sensation. You notice the tightness in your chest. You feel the air entering and leaving your lungs. You refuse to build the narrative. The chain of suffering is severed in that exact fraction of a second. In modern capitalism, we are conditioned to tie our worth to our output. We guard our professional identities as if they were biological life itself. We accept a slow death every day to protect job titles that do not exist outside a corporate server. The doctrine of non-self teaches the exact opposite truth. A permanent, solid identity is a fiction. If your project fails, it is simply an event that collapsed due to changing conditions. It does not mean you are a failure. Detaching your identity from your output is the ultimate fortress in an age of constant psychological compression. These are not just beautiful philosophies. This is the eightfold path applied as tactical field operations. Right mindfulness is registering the contraction of your muscles without adding a story. Right view is seeing your self-deprecating thoughts as passing neurological data, not metaphysical truth. When pressure attacks, stop analyzing your thoughts. Look away from the glowing screen. Scan your body and locate exactly where the physical tension lives. When the brain begins its negative narration, recognize it as the mechanical storytelling of the ego. Observe the emotion as if you were a scientist studying a volatile chemical. Watch how long it actually takes for that mass of feeling to dissolve under the law of impermanence. True healing is not erasing painful memories. It is not forcing yourself to become an unfeeling machine, perfectly optimized for labor. It is the courage to face reality as it is. It is seeing that both joy and terror are merely phenomena that arise, stabilize, and vanish. You do not own the pain of the past. You are not the terrifying story your brain keeps trying to replay. The moment you return your attention to the rising of your chest, you step off the battlefield. You return to the safest home imaginable, which is the emptiness of non-attachment. Tomorrow morning, the alarm will ring again. The world will demand that you rejoin its collective hallucination. The question is not how you will stop the spinning of the world. The question is, who is the one observing the tension inside you right now? Will you remain a biological machine driven by paranoia? Or will you step back and watch the mechanism fall apart in absolute silence?